Hola, hola, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you for our live sessions, frequently asked questions about moving to Mexico. Kim and I will be here to answer any questions for you. If you ever thought about moving to Mexico, maybe you dream of warm weather, lower cost, or maybe you're just looking for a new adventure. If that's you, you're in the right place. My name is Cartes, and this is my wife, Kim. And as someone who's made Mexico our home, we've learned a lot about what it's like to actually live here. So today we're going to answer your most common questions about moving and living in Mexico. We'll cover everything from visas and money to daily life and what to expect here in Mexico. Our goal here is to give you honest, helpful tips so you can feel ready for your own Mexico journey. So this is your chance to ask anything. Feel free to type your questions in the chat, and I'll do my best, and we'll do our best to answer as many of your questions as we can. So hopefully you are ready. If you can, hit the chat box and let me know if y'all can hear us. Say yes, we can hear you. Say something so we know. Hello, Leticia, Sandra, Deborah, Marla.
Lance.
Can y'all hear us? Absolutely.
Okay,
Awesome,
yes.
awesome, awesome.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday night. We know it's late and we were outside in the backyard, and Curtis was like, let's go live tonight. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So here.
All right. So I'm just checking just to make sure everything is working properly. Man, I just got through looking at the news. I don't watch the news, and I'm hearing that they shooting up over there in Iowa. Idaho. I'm sorry. Police taking the active sniper fire. Firefighters been ambushed to a call, and I mean it's crazy. It's wild. You know, it's man, we ain't having them type of problems out here. You know what I mean? Everybody always talking about, oh, you got to be, are you going to be safe when you get to Mexico? Man, no worry in the world. So I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers going up for those families over there.
Definitely.
In Idaho. It's wild. It's wild. So it's and here's young lady here. I am new in Merida. I love it here. How you doing, peaceful self? Hey,
welcome.
What's it been like for you so far? In fact, I'm gonna put a link in the comments, and I'm going to, and if any of you want to come up and just kind of talk and share your experiences, or you have any questions, click on that link that I just posted in the chat, and it will allow me to bring you up on the platform so you can answer any questions.
Yeah.
You got anything to say?
No, not right now. Is that Leah?
So this is for y'all. This is for y'all. Hey, thanks for the donation of $2. Hey, y'all drop some cash down in there so we can get some coffee, so we can stay up. You know what I mean? Thank you very much, Aunt, and we appreciate it. And again, there's a link down here I just posted in the chat box.
You gotta share it. There it is. Okay, and you guys could click on it if you'd like to come up. If you have any questions, you will be invited into the live and you can ask your questions. So just click on that link, and you can come up. If you have a Mac, it's not going to work in the Safari browser. So you will need to use either Chrome or Foxfire. And you could just click on it. It's really easy, and come on in and just ask any questions that you guys may have.
So this chat is for y'all. So click the link, get on and ask, when will the weather cool down? Deborah asked that. it is what, June right now, going into July. The weather would typically start to cool off.
Actually, now I would say now, right now, it's been really cool. It hasn't been as hot. Um, it is um, it is a rainy season, so it has cooled down. So yeah,
It's cooled down in the sense
it
that
has drastically.
it's raining and it's cloudy, so it's cool in that sense. But the humidity, maybe in about another month or two, it can still get pretty bad, and it can
Yeah,
still be pretty hot.
especially in
But
August.
about October, November, you'll start to really feel the cooler weather. You'll really start to feel the real difference in terms of being very cool. Peaceful Self says, outstanding. I love it here. Question, I need to learn Spanish. So what would be your advice in obtaining a patient Spanish teacher? I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put a couple of resources in the link below. These are some online teachers that teach via Zoom, and they are here in Mexico. And that would be a great start. The other option would be to join a school, a local school, and they have quite a few of them. I have no recommendations on that. There's a bunch of them, full immersion, where you go every day for 4 to 6 hours, or there's a couple of schools where you can just go for a couple of hours a day, a couple of days out the week. But I'm going to put some Zoom teachers down here that can kind of get you going. And remember, I'm going to post the link in here again if y'all want to come up and chat and share your experiences here with others, just so they can hear from you. I'm always talking about how great Mexico is, but it's always great for people to hear from you all. So I'm going to post some links down in the comments about Spanish teachers, and Kim talk to y'all or answer any questions that she sees in the chat.
Let's see. Look at so welcome. Thank you guys for joining us again. Happy Sunday to everyone. Let's see here. Do you decide? Okay, someone wants to know. I saw one of the questions earlier while you were talking. Can you rent to own here in Merida?
It's really not a thing here. So the short answer is no, you can't. And I just posted the Spanish teachers information below. So it's really not a thing. They don't really have lease purchases out here, rent to own. Those type of programs are generally not available for people to buy. Generally, people, what happens is people generally have either, when people from the U.S. come here to buy homes, they generally have already sold their home. They take the cash and they come out here and buy, or they tap into their investment accounts, 401ks, pull money out and buy homes, and or a lot of people will get a home equity line of credit, and then they'll use that money to buy a home. I'm going to pull you up, Miss Leah. Go ahead. Can you hear me, young lady? Can you hear me, Leah?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing? You doing okay? I think there might be some lag time. Can you hear me? I can see you on the screen. It's like your picture has frozen. And someone asked, while we're trying to get that figured out, Frank asks, where do you guys normally shop for food? Walmart, Sam's Club, local markets, weekend markets, etc. We do a combination of both. Sometimes we go to Sam's Club, Sam's Club and Costco and buy big bulky things. For the most part, we go to grocery stores, local grocery stores. There's one here that's called Chedraui. I'm gonna write the name of it down in the chat box. Soriana is another one. And there's also Super Arkey, but Super Arkey tend to be a little more expensive than most. And but we also hit the local markets as well, mom and pops, La Tiendas and the markets and whatnot. Generally find great deals there, fruits and vegetables. And we also deal with local butchers in each of the towns. So every town or every neighborhood or colonia that you live in would generally have a butcher and a market. You can generally go there and get fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's significantly less than what you would spend in the market in the supermarkets.
Look like the person just dropped off. So
yeah,
I don't know if you lost your connection, but if you want to get back on, you can. Okay, so this question keeps coming up. They want to know what is the best out of town to buy a house on. So we're kind of biased. We would probably say Concao, but I know Cortez knows a lot more. So what would you say?
Yeah, so I mean, Concao, of course. There's and on this side you have Concao, you have Cholula, you also have Tamason. Those are great areas, and also, and so this is the northeast side. On the northwest side, you have Sitsia, Real Montejo is a great area to be in. As you start going toward the beaches, you have other towns that are starting to develop, like Comchin, Keektail. I'm going to write these down in the comments just so you can, because I know they're kind of hard to spell with the way they sound. But all of those would be great areas. They're growing neighborhoods to live in, and these are rural. Some of these are rural. For example, Sitsia, Concao.
Yeah.
I would consider us rural. Comchin for sure would be rural. Keektail would be rural. These are small little towns. So most of the ones that I mentioned, Tamoson, would be very rural. And you go ahead and answer anything. I'm typing this in.
Let's see. Marla, we always need something. So yes. Just reach out to Cortez or me. I don't know if you have my phone number, but just reach out to Cortez and it give you my phone number. Thank you for offering to bring some stuff back when you come in September. I thought, okay, there was a question. Someone wanted to know how the girls are. The girls are fine. They're blossoming, blooming, and their Spanish is getting better and better. They often get so many comments. Our line guy didn't actually realize it was Charlie. And he met up with her and he came to the house. He was like, I thought Charlie was some how do you say it? I thought Charlie was some local. So that's just funny, but they're just really adjusting and their Spanish is amazing.
Also, going back to Liz, Michelle, Peaceful Michelle said she was trying to connect, but got disconnected. Question is still about learning Spanish from a patient instructor. In the comments, I posted 2 Zoom teachers online that will that teach. And let me see if I can. See if I can pull that up again.
You want me to try to find that question while you?
I'm gonna put 2 people's contact details here and see if that will show up.
What about that software that you're doing, that program?
Yeah, I'm about to say that too. Also, there's another program I just started online called Dreaming Spanish. And I tell you, I started it about 3 days ago and I'm seeing results already. I also put that in the comment box as well. That has been very helpful. It goes along. You kind of have to read up on the methodology on why it works. It'd be kind of complicated to explain and take too long to explain here, but look up Dreaming Spanish. I think most of you all will find that very useful, helpful, and easy. It's helped me out a lot just in the last 3 days. As I get more into real estate, I'm trying to fast track my Spanish learning. because starting next year, anybody that's involved in real estate needs to get certified and all of that stuff. And so I have to take a test. So now I'm rapidly trying to absorb and get my Spanish in so I can sit down for the exam and pass and understand. So learning, dreaming Spanish, look it up online. You'll see more about that.
Okay, and someone wanted to know, how did the girls learn Spanish? They pretty much met a lot of local friends, and it was really immersion. We did have a Spanish tutor that they did online, and pretty much practicing and watching YouTube videos, but mostly um, having friends here that speak no English. So that's pretty much how they learned.
Yes, and it comes back to being immersed in the culture. Once you, like him said, they have friends. They were taking classes, ballet classes, horseback riding classes, dance, guitar lessons, and so they were kind of forced to pick it up and learn it because they were in those classes. So getting actively involved will definitely help you all get going in learning the language. It's really, and you really, and as they're young, so their brains absorb faster. They're like a sponge. It pulls in information. But as older folk, adults, we have to be intentional and proactive. And we've been here 4 years, and our Spanish is not great. We get by just fine, but your experience will be a lot better the more you know. But now, for the first time in these 4 years that I've been here, now I'm intentional because now I have a need to learn, so I can sit for this exam, so I can get my certification. And so what you all will see over the next 6, 7, 8 months is a huge transformation in my Spanish speaking skills because I'm having to be intentional about learning. Thank you, Peaceful Self, for the donation. We thank you, WSP. Thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. Teresa asked, when I get to Merida and get approved for temporary visa, can I come right back to the U.S. until I move there next year? Absolutely. Once you get your residency, you can leave and you don't have to come back.
You can come back and forth.
You know what I mean? Until it's time to renew it again. But no, you don't have to stay. There's no time limits. You don't have to. Once you get it, you're free to come and go as often or as little as you like. So, and I would recommend at the beginning of the year when January hit, the financial requirements for getting approved for residency most likely will increase. So if you want to make sure you're qualified, do that now. Get your residency now, apply for it now. You don't have to be retired. You don't have to wait till retirement. Get your residency now. There are 20-year-olds coming here and getting residency. So do it now while the qualifications are not as strict. Don't know how things will pan out as the political climate that we're dealing with right now between the U.S. and Mexico. It could change things. So get it now while you can, and while the financial requirements are less in the present time.
So I just posted the link. So if you guys would like to come up and ask any questions that you want to, instead of, in the chat, click on that link. Let's see here.
I'm scrolling back to try and make sure we didn't miss any questions here.
Okay, someone wants to know, are we
what's up, Valerie?
Oh, Valerie said, hi, Valerie. Okay, so they want to know if we're building or buying a new house, and do you have contact for a car rental?
Yes. So it's hard to believe already that the house that we're in now, it'll be a year in about 2 months that we signed a lease. We've already spoke with the landlord. We're going to renew for another 1 year because we feel in about 1 year we'll have our monies together to actually either buy or build. Where it's crazy because you know, last night we came across a house for 100,000. It was 3 bedrooms, a brand new house. We got some folk that just came to the house. I'm gonna tell y'all about this. It's gonna blow your mind in a minute. But somebody is trying to so we saw a house for 100,000, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, brand new, had a pool, even had a rooftop. I'm gonna go try and look at it tomorrow. Hola, buenas noches. We're gonna try and look at it tomorrow. And so I was telling Kim, I'm like, look, that house is not really what we want. It's not necessarily our dream house, but for 100,000, we can buy it and then just finally have a place that we call our own, and we don't have a mortgage, we don't have any rent, and as the years go by, it's just going to continue to increase in value. Maybe we should consider doing something like that, grab something like that, maybe in the next 6 months, because like I say, we're giving ourselves 1 more year, we'll have all the money needed to buy or build. But when an opportunity like that comes, it's like we won't have any more rent payments. All right, won't have any more rent payments or anything. And so that will allow us to save even more money and be a little bit more aggressive because we have no payments. And so, so so to answer your question, we don't know if we're going to buy or build, because the more I'm in this real estate space, I keep seeing deals and opportunities where sometimes it's like, man, it might just make sense just to buy and just be done. You know what I mean? Because once you get rid of your rent, get rid of your mortgage, and don't have any bills because you get solar panels, you don't have any expenses, buy a car, buy a car where you have no more payments, all your expenses are just gone. It's like, do I need to build a big house? Do I need to build anything extra? So we're still weighing it out. So a lot of things might change over the next 12 months as we are getting more aggressive in our savings, and as the time is winding down, when we will actually have all the monies available to go ahead and buy or build when the time comes over the next 12 months. Hope that answered your question. So I want to tell you this, and then we'll get back to the questions. And I'm gonna post that link. I don't know if that link is working right, where you all can click on it. Guests can stream, where it'll bring you up and ask questions. So Haley has been sleeping kind of wild and snoring and all of that stuff. I got sleep apnea, and I have a CPAP machine that I sleep with. And so we scheduled an appointment with her because I walked in the room the other day and I was like, yeah, the girl need a machine. And because the medication that she's on caused her to gain weight and whatnot. So it sounded like when I saw her sleeping, I recognized that, she probably has sleep apnea. So anyhow, we scheduled an appointment and went for a consultation. I think it was like $35, $40 for the sleep apnea consultation. And so the person so during the consultation, they said, hey, we're going to come to your house. I mean, what do you mean you're going to come to the house? So the guy just knocked on the door. They're setting up the machines to do all the testing in our house, in the bed, in her bed, she's going to sleep in her bed tonight. They set everything up. And about 11 o'clock, they say they'll come back and put everything on her so she can go to sleep. And they're going to do the whole sleep testing here in our house. That's crazy. Now in the States, you know what I mean? You got to go to the sleep clinic, sleep overnight, stay overnight. And if your insurance don't cover you, you out of a whole bunch of money for the diagnostic and all of that. So it just blows my mind that these folks are coming to our house to do the sleep study here in the comforts of our home. And the cost was $150. And so they're going to do all of that. And so they're going to fit her, they're going to size her, they're going to test her out with different size mask. I think some people like to have the thing that cover your nose and the mouth. Some people just want it over the nose. So they're going to test a variety of things while they're here doing the study. And, probably in the next day or two, they'll let us know what equipment we need. and she will start sleeping with her sleep apnea machine. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. So it's I'm blown away by the type of quality care, medical care that we are able to get here, and the convenience of having a sleep study done at home and not having to go to a lab where you're more anxious and less likely to fall asleep as you would in the comfort of your own home. So it's amazing. It's amazing. Let's see. So gal 60 at High Cart 10. I need orthopedic care and thinking of coming to Merida. It's expensive in the States. Any orthopedic referrals? Yes, I do have one. I had my rotator cuff repaired by a orthopedic surgeon. I'm trying to see if his information is right here in front of me. Excellent surgeon, very affordable. I had my whole surgery done for less than $3,000. For right at $3,300, and it was awesome. Let me see if I can pull this doctor name up. Dr. Juan. I think this is him. Bon dia. Okay. I'm gonna post his name in the comments and his phone number. Orthopedic surgeon, ortho. And if I didn't answer your question, keep posting it because as you all type, it continues to push the thread down. Dr. Juan. Write the guy in. Here you got to use WhatsApp. That's the primary way everybody communicate. And here is you're getting the direct doctor's phone number. You're going to talk to him directly. You're not going to talk to an assistant. You're going to talk to him directly. They talk to you directly, and let him know what's going on, and he'll let you know what's up. So use WhatsApp. I just put his name in the comments, and you'll be able to get there for him. Get their access to him. Let's see. I like the fact. Somebody said, I like the fact of Mexico being a car ride away, though, as I'll still have kids in the States. Absolutely. You know, that's one of the benefits of living here in Mexico versus places like Southeast Asia. A friend of mine had an emergency. His daughter had to have brain surgery, and had to fly to Thailand, and it was $10,000. Both parents couldn't go. He could only afford to send the wife, and so she went, and 10,000 USD. So when people say it's cheaper to live in Thailand, one flight can wipe out all the savings you would have had. You know what I mean? It'll offset it. And so they ended up, she flew there, ended up having to come back some weeks later after the daughter was stabilized, and both of them coming back over 20 grand, 20,000. So 10 going, 20,000 coming back, 30,000, wiped out their complete savings. You know what I mean? So proximity, when you're choosing a destination in terms of living abroad, you got to factor that in. I can hop on a plane now and fly back to the States for $300, $500. If I want to drive to Cancun, because I'm 3.5 hours away, I can get back to Atlanta for about $200, $300. You know what I mean? So pros and cons between living further away versus living next door in Mexico. And like this person said here, you can hop in the car and drive back to Mexico, or drive back to the States. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Is it best to take your car or don't take your car? When I first got here, we didn't have a car for the first couple of years. And we were just fine without it. It was 4 of us. We took Uber, went everywhere in Uber. Sometimes we went together. Sometimes I might have gone somewhere in Uber that day, or one of the kids went off the Uber, or Kim went somewhere. And our average bill was running us about $250, $275 a month just in Uber fees for all 4 of us. And that's with us going anywhere we wanted to go without thinking or trying to budget it or trying to say, okay, I'm going to go later on, or I'm going to go when we can all go to save money. Nah, that's just whenever we wanted to go, we went 250, 275, and we got by just fine. The mistake we made, and I wouldn't call it a mistake, we wanted to go to this shoe town called Tikul to go buy these shoes because you get them at wholesale about 2 hours away from here. So it was like, so we rented a car and we went to the town. And when we got in that rental car and we're driving around for 2-3 days, we ain't want to get a car back. So it was like, oh man, if we didn't get in that car, so we kept renting the car and renting the car and renting the car. And so if you have the option to bring your car, I would suggest bringing it. You know what I'm saying? Bring the car. It's just going to make life a lot more convenient for you, especially if you have children and if you're a family. Like I said, we got by without a car for 2 years and it wasn't an issue. It was only when we got into a rental that we decided we wanted the luxury and the convenience of having a car. If you're by yourself, because oftentimes many of our clients that we help with relocation, they're just by themselves. They're saying, Cartels, I've been driving for 40, 50 years. I'm going to be chauffeured around at the rates of these Uber fees being so low. I'm going to be chauffeured and get taken around. I don't need no car. So I get that side too. So, but if you have young children and your family, particularly because like I say, with kids, you're going to be taking them to activities, and the cost can add up pretty quick. Get a car, bring your car down, or again, you can buy one. Facebook Marketplace, you can find used cars all day long for $4,000, $6,000, $7,000, and that is more than enough to get around and do what you need to do. And let me see. Here we go. Did you say anything about the business retreat? I'm still going to do that retreat. I just hadn't had time to get back to scheduling it and mapping it all out. Well, it's actually mapped out. Here's the challenge that I've been having. Well, it's not a challenge, just haven't had time to follow through. So I'm in the process of I've hired a law firm that is setting up my corporation, and so we're getting all the paperwork done. Should finally actually be done this week, and so trying to get all the legalities in place, because once I start hiring people, it kind of puts you at risk if you're not operating here legally. And so when you start hiring people and having people in your place and all of that stuff, so there's some things you just want to follow through with and get done. So it'll all be done this week. The last month I've been running around crazy. We probably relocated maybe 12, 15 people in the last 30, 45 days. Several folks have bought homes. The vast majority were renting homes, and we were just slammed with business. So this week, hopefully things have slowed down a little bit. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write out this business retreat. And this retreat that she's talking about is I'm going to be hosting a retreat that basically we're going to, for those of you who have some business ideas, some hobbies or passions things that you're passionate about, I'm going to show you how to use YouTube to help you build a business, similar to what we did here with Move Abroad and Thrive. And I've been using YouTube as a launching platform for many other businesses that I've started and for other businesses that I've helped other people start. So another channel that I have or used to run, is called T-Shirt Riches. I think we have about 75,000 subscribers on that channel. It was a company where we taught people how to start their own Christian T-shirt company, and did extremely well. But YouTube wasn't the business model. We used YouTube to educate and inform people like we're doing now. and we're educating people with this platform, and then we're moving them off of the YouTube platform to our website like tshirtriches.com or moveabroadandthrive.com, and building a real solid business model where we can earn income. So this workshop is really going to be about teaching you how to do that, getting you down. We're going to lock you up in the house, hopefully a beach house. Well, maybe not a beach house now that we're in rainy season, but we're going to lock you up in the house. And for 3 to 5 days, still trying to figure out the days. We're going to make videos. We're going to give you the formula. When you leave the workshop, you're going to have a bunch of videos already created. You're going to have videos already posted online. You're going to have a website. We're going to help you we're going to put the site together for you. We're going to, and professional headshots, photographs of yourself, and teach you all the strategies for starting a business and making it work. I often, suggest to people, a lot of folks are retiring or very close to retirement, and you all already have experiences, you have knowledge, and people would like to learn what you know. And again, there's a million folks on YouTube talking about living in Mexico, but we have a different perspective, and people will follow you regardless to how many other folks are online talking about the same thing, because you have a unique perspective from your experiences. Our experiences being, hey, we, people were attracted to us because we were a family, we had children, and then they were attracted to the story. They were like, hey, I shared my journey. I'm like, hey, we were broke. Our finances was jacked up. We had to move to kind of get caught up and reset, and we had to move somewhere where cost of living was cheaper. And so when we shared our personal story, a lot of people resonated with that. And so that's some of the things that we're going to be sharing and teaching you all how to do. And when you are trying to use these platforms to build a business. So give me about another week, and I promise I will have the details up and online by this weekend coming up.
Is there any questions that anyone may have for me?
Any questions for Kimmy? Let me put this invite link. I think there's an issue with this link.
Don't put it in there.
So if y'all have questions, there's a link, and you want to come up, click on that link, or you might have to copy and paste that link, and it'll bring you up, and we'll bring you in. Let's see here. Tanya asked, can we get residency while working in the U.S. using that salary, even if that will change once we move there? So yeah, once you get residency and once you get approved for residency, again, I really can recommend y'all go ahead and start applying for it now. Once you get it, you're done. You don't have to qualify later. You don't have to meet any financial solvency requirements or anything once you get that. So theoretically, once you apply for temporary residency in the States, they're going to give you 1 year residency, and then when that 1 year is up, then it's going to roll over into a 3 year residency. And then once that 3 year residency is up, you're going to come back to immigration and apply, and they'll roll you into permanent, and then you're done. So you won't have to qualify again. Nothing changes. So if you lost your job or you changed jobs or your income dropped, it won't have any effect on you getting residency extended for the 3 years or being rolled over into the permanent residency.
Someone had a good question. Peaceful Stuff. She wants to know, do you know of any homes that are in foreclosure? They're interested. That's a good question.
So they do have something like that. Most of the attorneys that we talk to about that, they often say that most of the scams that happen come from those. There are some attorneys that specialize in that type of thing. I haven't come across any that have ever felt comfortable doing it. They've always kind of pushed me away or shied away from getting involved. So I imagine you can probably find someone who can definitely assist you with that, but most of the attorneys tend to stay away from it due to the liability with it. Pamela Jones asked, "How is Sky doing on her work exchange?" You want to answer that?
She's loving it. She's waiting on for her next assignment. Her job is almost up, so she'll be going to another place soon. But she's loving it. She absolutely loved Italy. So her plans are to travel that country, kind of move about, and God only knows what else she's gonna do. But yeah, she's doing great.
Yeah, so she's loving it. And for those, I just want to explain what that's about. So Sky joined the organization called was it Backpackers?
It's World Packers,
World Packers organization where they have all these different entities across the world where people, businesses, and people kind of connect, almost like an Airbnb in a sense. So you have a business that'll say, "Hey, we need some customer service help at our campsite, and in exchange, we will allow you to live in we'll provide you a room, food, shelter, et cetera, et cetera." So in this case here, Sky got a room, have their own room. They provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks throughout the day, beer and wine, which is her favorite. And she's in, like I say, she's in Italy right now near Milan, eating pasta every day, and she is absolutely loving it. So she works 3 to 4 hours a day, and then the rest of the day she's free to go run off and do whatever she wants. I think she takes 2 hours in the morning and 2 or 3 hours at night, and she's free in between that time to go explore the city, hang out, tour around, and have a place to come back to. And she sends us pictures of the pasta. Kim is running back up to assist the technician and Haley. But she goes out and eat pasta every single day, talks about how good the food is. The lady takes care of them and all of that stuff. So the assignment was for 3 weeks. And so she's back on the website and she's looking for another assignment. She's trying to find another assignment in Italy. I think if that doesn't work out, she's looking for another assignment in Germany and looking for something that might last 6 to 8 weeks long, et cetera, et cetera. So apparently people all over the world do this thing. You can read comments on the company from other people that have went to those assignments. So the users are rating the destinations that they went to. And it's, so again, this is a way, if a person has limited income and you want to travel, you can volunteer for many of these projects and go live anywhere in the world. You can go to Africa, you go to France, you go to London, you can go, you can Belgium, anywhere in the world you can go and hang out. So she found it. She was like, "I want to travel." That's why I say that if they're the will, they're the way. She was determined she was going to travel for a year. And so that's what she's doing. She figured it out. Empress says, "It took me 6 months to get permanent residency. I never had temp residency. It depends on how you qualify, who you use in U.S. and Mexico, and the immigration office you use in Mexico." Yeah, it's different in each office. It depends on the agent who you're talking to. I've had people say that they were able to get permanent just simply by asking, and the agent was like, "Okay, we'll give it to you." And whereas others, they were like, "Nope, you're not retired yet. We're not giving it to you. You don't meet the requirement for permanent." So it's the luck of the draw. Some places are a little bit more laxed and giving, in other places are not. Let's see. I had a question about homes and lots for sale amongst the local in the meta neighborhoods. Are there deals? You may have covered that. Yes, there are deals all over the place. the best deals come to those that are patient and are willing to wait until the opportunity presents itself. So I mean, really, I promise you, like I say, the house that we came across last night for 100,000 blew my mind. I made contact with the agent today, and hopefully tomorrow I can go see it. And I was baffled. I'm like, 3 bedrooms with a rooftop, deck, and a pool up top. And I'm like, 100,000. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't believe it, but I got to go see this with my own eyes. So there are definitely deals. If you're looking for anything specific, reach out to us on our website. Hit me up on the contact page, and or send an email to support. I'm gonna put the email address in the box. Support at moveabroad and thrive.com, and just, hey, put an email, let me know what you're looking for, and we can assist you in helping you find property. Let me bring up Anthony. Let's see. How you
Cartel.
doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Awesome. How you doing?
All right, all right. Excuse me. I am at work. I work right here on the hill, as you can see, in
Ah.
session. Hey, I've been a long time follower of yours, since you was in Medellin,
Hey,
and me and my wife, we love your family.
thank
Uh,
you.
I've been supporting like crazy, and we're coming down. We already
Awesome.
planned the date to come down November next year, but we're going to come before that. My question to you is, um, when is the best time to do the consultation? Is it too early, or it don't matter the time?
I don't think it matters. I mean, if there's some questions that you just need to get answered, and if you can get those answers sooner than later, I would say sooner than later, because maybe yeah, sooner than later. And as the time come closer, I'm sure you'll probably have more questions that you'll probably want to ask or get answers to. Also, because I don't know if you're a VIP member, consider joining that group online, and I'll put the link here. Inside the VIP membership, you can post questions and ask questions to me directly anytime, as many times as you want, and I personally will answer all your questions there. So that might be cheaper than a consultation over time.
Okay. No, I want to do the consultation. Because I mean, I got a lot from you already. Ever since you had Tia Kane, and I mean, she's from my area. I know people she know, and she had told me a lot. But the same you did with her, I definitely want to do with you.
Awesome,
Um, Very
awesome.
informative. So, and me and my wife, she like, yeah, we're gonna go with Cortez, and hopefully when we come down this year, if you have time, you would like to meet. If we have to pay, we will for your time, just to get a general observation, or how it is down there with the heat, and also the locations. Because
Absolutely.
as we've been looking, hey Kim,
Hey, how are you?
um, all right, um, we've been looking at Concal. We've been stuck on Concal ever since you showed it the first time. And, and I mean, at first we said something about the beach, but we thought about like the floods there
uh-huh.
compared to the floods and I think Concal is probably going to be like the best for us. So
I think you will like it. I mean, when you come down, we know we definitely do offer tours. We'll take you around, show you different neighborhoods, and you say, "Hey, Cartez, I want to see what houses look like between 600 and 800 a month." And
yes,
we'll go get some appointments and get you in those houses so you can actually see. And Concal, man, I'm gonna tell you, we had a lady that showed up here a month ago. She was adamant on living at the
mhm,
beach. And so we looked at a bunch of houses on the beach. She fell in love with the houses, and of course, houses at the beach tend to be a little bit more money. And so we brought her out here to Concal, Tamason, which kind of are next door to each other. She came out here, saw them houses out here in this area. She was like, no. She's like, I can drive to the beach in 20 minutes from
right,
here.
right,
And This lady bought 2 houses on the spot. And I was like, what in the world just happened? Because she was adamant about the beach. But when she got here and saw how much more house she can get and how much more yard she can get
Right.
for the same money just 20 minutes away, it was a no-brainer for her. So it's a beautiful, beautiful area here. I think you're going to love it.
I think so too. And we kind of in the same situation. My son, he wants a place. He's coming down with us. My middle son.
Okay.
He's going to be probably 28 when we come down, and he's going to get a condo, and we're getting a house. So,
Ah.
it's going to be two different. We all together, but two different situations of purchasing. So,
We'll definitely be glad to help you out with that, show you a bunch of options. And with us, there's never any pressure to pull the trigger, no time restraints or anything like that. Our goal is really just to show you the different options
right.
for you to decide, and we'll be happy to work with y'all.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me up.
Absolutely.
And I definitely continue. I mean, I've been saying, I mean, I don't know if you get a chance to look at your sharing your channel. I probably said the channel about 100 times.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate your support, man. You've been following us since Medellin. That's been a long time, so we appreciate you a lot and look forward to meeting you in person.
All right. Thank you. And I
You're
hope to
welcome.
see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Did you
All right.
answer the question? Someone wanted to know who did my hair. Did you answer that question?
Nah.
He
Okay.
helped you out.
Would you see it up there?
Yeah. It was from. She's asked a lot of questions. It was from Peaceful Self.
Just after the quarter.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so Peaceful Self, that's actually, believe it or not, a local Mexican lady has been doing our hair. She's braided my hair twice since I've been, twice, and the girls' hair 3 times. The first time, I'm gonna be honest, I was concerned. I was like, y'all don't let that lady play in y'all hair. And I think she had to get used to braiding black hair, but the second time she braided the girl's hair and the girls came home, I was like, oh, I'm getting my hair braided. And so she's done my hair twice. The second time she actually came to the house and she braided my hair. It includes the hair and she charges 2,100 pesos. So you can't beat that with a bat. So it's a local that's braiding our hair,
which is about $100 US. The problem we were having, because there are other folks here that live here that do hair from America, Black women, and oftentimes they get here and then 5 months later they gone. They like, oh, I can't live in Merida, and they out of here. Right. So now we're back to, so I was online, I was looking, the girls was like, I need to get my hair braided. I'm like, I ain't driving no 4 hours to Belize to get, which is an option. You can 4 hours, you can go to Belize, which is gracias. 4 hours to go to Belize, huh? Oh, pay now?
Yeah. This is so crazy, y'all. Did you already tell him?
Yeah, I already explained to him about the CPAP. But going to Belize is an option. So I went online, found this lady that does hair. And so this lady, she's from Mexico. She's from Merida born. And she actually teaches a class on African braiding, teaching other Mexican women how to do African braids. And I was like, but I started looking through her portfolio. I was like, oh, her hair work is great. Her stuff is on point. And Kim was like, no. I'm like, man, for $100, we're going to find out. And I can say included the hair. And now the lady comes to the house, you know what I mean, and braid the hair. So we don't have to go there. She come to the house, pay an extra $10 tip.
Uber.
250, what happened? Oh. So it was $12 more. 250. Yeah. So yeah, so that's one of the benefits about living here, man. You get great $100 to get your hair, and y'all see this dome, and she got a big head. That's a lot of hair. You know what I'm saying? So for $100, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So the one that someone wants to know, do we order from Amazon? Yes, Amazon has a Mexico. It's amazon.com.mix. And so we order from there. Now, you don't have the same products as you have in the States. Many of the times it is what do you call it? Imported. But for the most part, you can get away with finding what you need. But for black hair products, it's usually like double or triple the cost because of fees, import fees. And if you could type that in there, amazon.com.mix, so they know what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll let you type it in. Find it in that
Well, the
question.
keyboard is right in front of you.
Find that question, then you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I apologize for getting in late. Where can I get more information about obtaining the temporary residency? So you will have to start the process in the United States by reaching out to a Mexican consulate in the States. So there's a variety of Mexican consulates. There's some in Texas, Washington, D.C., Louisiana, Atlanta, North Carolina, California. So you try and find a Mexican consulate that's close to you. And on their website, you will see options for applying for different visas, temporary residency, permanent residency. You click on those links and it'll break down the steps in the process you need to take to start the process. And the process will generally be started by, they'll say on the website, send us an email with this information or send us a message via WhatsApp with this information to get your appointment set up. And once you get your appointment, the person that you're chatting with in the email or the chat, they'll send you a document, a list of things that you need to have and bring to your appointment, which is generally proof of income, proof of retirement, proof of pension, your passport, birth certificates, et cetera, et cetera. You'll have a checklist of things that you need to bring down, and then you go to your appointment, and that's the first part of it. And so once you get to the Mexican consulate and you are approved for residency, they'll put some stuff inside of your passport. And once you've been approved, you have 6 months to enter into Mexico to complete the second half of that process. And once you get into Mexico to finish up the second part of that process, it takes about a week to 2 weeks to complete it, get your card, and now you are a resident. You have temporary or permanent residency. So it's pretty simple process. Now, one thing about Mexico, they are consistently inconsistent. So generally a lot of challenges that people have, they have an issue meeting the financial requirements. But one of the things you want to do is reach out and look at the different consulates in Mexico, because each one will have a different minimum financial requirement. So, for example, one might say, hey, you need to make $4,400 a month. Another one might say you can get in with $3,300 a month. So oftentimes people will go to the one where they qualify at. But again, you have to check, because some of the consulates are changing the rules. They're saying if you don't live here or if you don't live nearby, you can't come here and start the process, et cetera, et cetera. So the first step, reach out to the Mexican consulate in the U.S., look on the website, and it'll tell you all the requirements that you need to meet.
And I think someone said that Chicago was a lot, what did they say, cheaper, and also they had like appointments or something in Chicago.
I don't know.
I believe they did say Chicago with some people who just recently came here. So check out different states and compare them. Do you recommend anyone to do landscape jobs? Actually, we do. And our guy, I absolutely love him. He's amazing. And Cortez just did a interview with him. It was just a quick video, probably about 3 minutes. And we're gonna post that. Hopefully he will post that tonight. And he is great. I absolutely love him.
Kim is gonna type his number and
Okay.
name down in the comment. He is an awesome guy, very trustworthy, speaks English, used to live in the States, English. and speaking this lived in the States for quite a while, and does an excellent job and is very fair on his pricing.
Very fair. He's not going to gringo you because, like, and I'm just gonna be honest. Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but there are times where they do see you are an American and you're not from here, and they will charge you more. Even those who are Mexican and speak Spanish and they know that they're from the States, they still charge them gringo prices. So, but this guy, he really is a honest guy. So yeah, I'm gonna put his name at the bottom. There's a question that keeps coming up. Someone wants to know if they could grow cannabis here in Mexico, and if they would need a license. And he's asked that question several times. If you can answer him, please.
Where is that question at?
Let me see. Watch out, please.
Might be further down.
Oh, that's Leah. I love her. We're looking for that question that keeps coming up with growing cannabis here. It's coming. It's right. It's up here. Hold on.
I don't want to keep them waiting. I'm gonna post.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Trying to find another question. Again, if y'all want to come up and ask any questions, click on the invite link that I just posted in the comments, and we'll bring you up and talk to you about whatever. If you have any experiences about, for those of you that have lived here, you want to share your experiences, feel free to come on up and just kind of talk about your experiences.
And even advice like you want to give, and you know, the pros and the cons and what you think that you could have done better versus now that you're here and you've been living here longer. So we welcome, there it is. Can I make a living there farming cannabis?
That is a question I don't know the answer to. I don't know. Which I could answer that for you, but I don't know the answer to that. And I don't know who you could ask about that. Kim is currently putting down the lawn guy's information. Put the plus in front. Very trustworthy guy, and message him in WhatsApp. So any numbers that we put in here, download WhatsApp to your phone. That is what they use to communicate here. If you try and call them or text them from a regular phone text, they're not going to answer.
Yeah, so please make sure that you download WhatsApp. It is standard here, so you definitely have to download WhatsApp.
All right. And Peaceful Self said Atlanta, Georgia, and Louisiana are the lowest on the financial solvency. So she gave y'all a great tip. If you're not meeting those $4,400 a month, go check out the consulate, Mexican consulate online in Atlanta and Louisiana, and find out what the requirements are. Like I say, they're different. Tanya, you are up. How you doing?
Hi, welcome.
Hey, Cortez and Kim. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead with your question.
All right. So, just real quick, I just wanted to pop on. I have known, I'm in Atlanta. I've been here about 20 years. So, Cortez, I met you when you were doing your t-shirt thing. I bought your course. I got your stuff still
Oh,
today. So I've been rocking with you, following you when you left Atlanta, went to Medellin and came back. So I was like, where's Cortez? And somebody said, Cortez, wait, Cortez in Mexico. I said, hold on, wait a minute. So I had to catch up back with you guys again. So it was really a heart's delight to catch up with you guys and see that you're still doing your entrepreneur thing. So I feel like I got a little history with you. With that
Amen.
t-shirt.
Thank you,
t-shirt
thank you.
riches.
Yeah, for sure. Transfers. I remember you pressing your shirts and pulling them up. I remember I was like, oh, transfers. So that's how I got started my t-shirt business because of you.
Awesome.
Which was in 2016 is when I started my
Wow.
t-shirt business.
Wow.
But I heard in another group that if you don't have any Mexican stamps in your passport, it's going to be harder to get temporary residency because the consulate will say, well, why do you want to go if you've never been? And I have a new passport that I replaced one that I lost more than a few years ago. So right now it has no stamps in it. Have you heard that that's a hindrance if I don't have any Mexican stamps in it in terms of, trying to get residency?
Yeah, so that is the thing, and for again, it really depends on the agent and the office that you're going into. But we have been hearing a lot more that lately people have been turned away because they had not yet been here because they during the process of getting your residency, there will be an interview session, and the agent will ask you some questions, and it does look kind of odd without having ever visited Mexico, and you're saying, "Hey, I want to go live there, and I want to get residency," and they're looking at you like you ain't ever been before. So that definitely is the thing. Now, before you got the new passport, had there ever been have you ever made a trip here before?
Oh yeah, we've been there a handful of times.
Okay, so you won't have any issues. They document you and they put you in the system as of at least 2015. So if you made a visit here since 2015, you'll be in the system. So even though you got a new passport, that won't hinder you from getting approval.
Okay, great. All right,
So
well that was it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hey, we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a
All
good
right.
night. Appreciate it.
All right, you too.
Thank you. And I'm glad she came on because I was telling you all earlier about how we use the YouTube platform to build businesses. And she's been following and rocking with us for a long time, signed up for our course, started a business around that because of the course and the training. And so that's one of the things we'll teach you at the workshop. People will hire you, people will pay you, people will hire you for consultation and advice. You just have to kind of get out there and just share your journey, share your information, share your knowledge, and that's how you kind of start to kind of build a following, a fan base. People start to trust you, know you, like you, trust you. And and that's what we did with Move Abroad and Thrive. We were just sharing our experiences of living here, the ups and the downs, just being transparent about our finances and sharing the real stuff. And so, like I say, we'll show you how to do all of that during the workshop if you decide to join.
This is interesting. There may be some truth to that. Why is it not? There it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. So someone asked, could they make money doing marijuana farming here? And, that could be an issue. Not that there's any issues going on cartel wise down here, but, once you start getting into those types of spaces and industries, you could probably make yourself a target and bring unwanted attention to yourself. So again, like I say, I would talk to somebody, do some more research and look into it to see if that's where you want to go, and everything. Leave that one there. Gringo Tax, when you in a nice neighborhood, I heard for everything. So, Gringo Tax, that's a term that, we use here when foreigners pay more. For example, I might go get some bananas, and the locals, if the price might be, 10 pesos, 50 cents. But then you see me, the old gringo, come through, the price might just go straight up. I might be paying $2. So oftentimes when you see very nice neighborhoods and gated communities, people assume you're paying this gringo tax or you got hoodwinked. But let me tell you, the overwhelming majority of people that live in these gated communities and some of these beautiful homes that you see me showcase, 98% of the people that live in those neighborhoods are Mexicans. Many times they're Mexicans from other parts of Mexico, because that's the largest demographic of folk moving into Merida. Middle class and wealthy Mexicans from other parts of Mexico fleeing violence and crime, cartel, narco crime. They're moving here for the safety. And these folk got money. These folks are running around here
very wealthy,
driving Mercedes, Bentleys, Rolls Royces,
Porsche.
Living $2 and $3 million homes, USD, $5 million homes. They got banked. Most Americans, the average Social Security check, according to the Social Security Administration, and every time I say this, everybody say, I don't get that much in Social Security. I'm just saying what the Social Security website say. The average check is $1,700. That's what the average person that's coming here on a retirement income is coming in with. They cannot afford to live in these gated communities. So they don't make up majority of the folks in the neighborhood. We lived in the neighborhood, there was 400 homes. Beautiful neighborhood, priced extremely high. And there's only 3 Americans, two Americans and 1 Canadian living in the neighborhood. And these are homes that were starting at about 300,000 and up. And there were many homes in there that was over $1 million. Mexicans, you know what I mean? So every time you hear, you hear, people see that you're in a nice neighborhood or a big house, they assume you got ripped off and gringo tax. I personally met a lot of these folks, man, and I'm in the space. I'm in the real estate space. And I'm sitting in the rooms where other Mexicans are buying these homes, and they're spending $300,000 and $400,000 and $500,000 and $600,000 on these properties.
How about the provider that we just went to a couple days ago? Those homes start at like $500,000. I mean, they're all Mexican. So yeah, and I think too, a lot of them are probably also coming from the States too. They have made their money and now they're coming back home. So, but yeah.
What is the status of the R&E program? I traveled to Tulum, Mexico last year. The R&E program has completely and totally been shut down. It is no longer in operation. It is over. Unfortunately, again, with the political climate in the States, that was Mexico's way of kind of pushing back. And so they shut that program down. It is over, unfortunately.
And someone wants to know, do you have to have a residency to purchase investment properties? That's a good question.
No, you don't. So you don't have to have residency to buy. Whether you're buying a personal home, residence home or investment home, residency is not required. However, you would definitely need residency when it comes time to sell it. it'll be in your best interest to get it. But to buy property, no, you don't need it. Oftentimes, in fact, quite a few people recently that have come here, saw some homes and saw the deal and didn't want to lose the deal. They bought the property and they started the residency process later on when they come back to move and stay here permanently. So that's the short answer.
How much is rent for a nice home furnished?
It ranges. I mean, you can get, it depends on what your definition of nice is. You can get a really nice home, $500 to $600 a month furnished. The more stuff you want, the more it starts to go up. So if you want a furnished home with a pool and a little bit of yard, you might go up to $700 to $800 a month. You start saying, hey, I want a pool, I want a yard, I want to be in a gated community. It might start to go up to about $900 to $1,000 a month. And if you want solar panels, you can get on up to $1,200 to $1,300 a month. And again, when you're paying those type of prices, you're generally getting a very large size, comfortable home. And many times the rent that I just quoted could also typically include the internet, the water service, the trash service. The only thing you generally be paying is electricity.
Okay. There's another question for you. Not that one. Okay. Do you think there could be a demand for barbecue? I'm asking because it's a skill I have in cannabis growing. Extra income ideas from trying to plan for help offset my small social security. The cannabis, I will say no, probably not a good idea. But the barbecue, definitely. So go ahead. I'm sure you want to answer that.
Yeah, so there was a guy here recently who's been living here. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now. But he came from drove from Texas and started a barbecue company. It didn't do well for him, but I think a lot of it had to do with the location he was in. He was trying to go more so in the southern part of Merida where people had less money, less income. But there are 2 barbecue spots here in northern part of Merida that we both frequent very often.
He do.
And well, you like the other one, the one in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, he's definitely better than the one in Micro Plaza.
I like the one in Micro Plaza better. But they both they charge quite a bit of money and people go there and pay. You know what I mean? So I think there's definitely demand for good barbecue. Kim don't like the fact that they don't do baked beans, barbecue beans.
No, I just don't like. I feel like it has no seasoning. Like their rib and even their brisket, it has no seasoning. Like it's just no taste. It's just so bland. And they had the nerve to have barbecue baked bean, y'all. It's hard, and I'm not gonna lie, I can make some really good baked beans. It has absolutely no brown sugar and just a little bit of barbecue sauce. And they have the audacity to call it barbecue baked beans. And but it's barbecue what is frijoles. So they call it barbecue frijoles, which is barbecue baked beans. And yeah, so that's that.
But it's good enough for me. But I think there's a demand all the time.
It definitely is.
You know, and especially if they can taste some, keep that up on the screen. There's definitely options for somebody to come in and bring in the more traditional barbecue style, like they have it in the States, because the place be packed.
But they don't know any better, y'all. Okay. And like Carl Anderson said, hard beans is a sin. It is. It's an abomination. But they don't know any better.
It's not that they don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
They just had better.
They don't know any better. Had better is still the same as not knowing any better.
It's different. One is more insulting.
What?
That one is more insulting than the other.
I just said they don't know any better.
I think it hadn't had better. But anyhow, but no, I think there's an option. Oftentimes, also you get people here that will cook from home, make plates, and they'll sell plates from their home. I think, if you're looking to make income, there's definitely opportunities here to do that.
Yeah.
You definitely want to get a work permit, which is very easy to do once you have residency. Or like I say it again, I'm going the corporation route because I have other factors planned in the background that will require for what we're into. But I think it's a great idea that you are actively trying to plan this in advance and think it through. I always say, if you're coming here and you're going to be moving here and you have these ideas already, go ahead and move forward. I think just in the act of starting and moving forward, opportunities will start to present itself. You'll start to see other options for going deeper and doing things once you get here. Someone asked, why is Merida safer than other cities? Is there a strong police presence? Yes, there is a very strong police presence. There's a very strong surveillance programs that they have here. They have cameras everywhere. They're actively watching and monitoring the city. They had a couple of guys over the weekend. Remember that day we were driving, we saw the police officers on the beltway on the interstate with the cones in the street. And I was like, man, something must have happened.
It's always happening all the time, though. They're always.
No, not that many, but they were all over the place. They were Alta Brisa, then we went further up. They were everywhere. So anyhow.
Was that the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of guys, apparently I found this out. A couple of guys had tried to go, they put on some fake security uniforms. They tried to go steal an ATM machine.
Really? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was. They tried to steal an ATM machine, going in, acting like they were exchanging the money and whatnot. And so they went in there with these, and I saw the picture of the car. The words was misspelled. They put the logo on side of the car, on side of the truck. The words were all misaligned. You see my sign up there, Move Abroad and Thrive. The A was up, the B was down. The B was down, the O was tilted. And so, of course, somebody got suspicious. It's like, these don't look like no real folks coming to work these machines. And so somebody called and reported. The police got there. It was 3 of them. 2 of them got away and they snagged one. And so when crimes like that happen, the whole city kind of go on lockdown. Not like a total lockdown, but you'll see them in the street. They start closing off sections of the interstate, sections of the road. They have these little checkpoints. And so it's a perimeter all around the city. You ain't getting out.
They gonna get you.
They gonna get you.
They gonna get you.
And they will let every car come by and they gonna get you. You ain't gonna get away here. You know what I'm saying?
Another thing that I like too is they set up DUI checkpoints, and that's actually great. And so basically, if you're stopping, they will stop you, and they have this machine, and you have to blow in it. And if you're fine and you're clear, and they let you go. But if you have been drinking and you drunk too much, you're going to jail. So that actually cracks down on people drinking and driving, and I wish that was something that they did in the States. So I really appreciate that.
And this guy kicked a dog, and then the police saw him, and they arrested the guy for kicking the stray dog.
Okay, hold on one second. You're in the middle.
So Charlie was saying they was just at the beach the other day, and somebody kicked the stray dog. And once they saw that, the police hemmed them up and locked them up immediately. So they don't play. They don't play that out here. I mean, so the police presence is very strong.
It is.
And the
DUI checkpoints.
Checkpoints are very strong.
Yeah, I love that.
They would just randomly shut down. They shut the interstate down
On the interstate, yeah.
and check for and it's not one of them things like in the States. You'd be like, oh, I got rights. You ain't checking. No, you don't blow into that thing. They're gonna take you and your car, and it's gonna cost you more money. So some things they just don't play about here. How do you avoid getting sick from water or food? What do you do if you get sick? So I brush my teeth. We all brush our teeth with the water. We rinse our fruits off with the water, our vegetables with the water. Some of us cook noodles with the water, the tap water.
I don't.
Don't get sick.
Yeah.
Now, particularly for Merida, Merida has a very high mineral content in the water.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs hit here in this region in Chicxulub, which is about 15 minutes from here, flattened this whole area. That's why Merida is so flat. There's 0 hills here, and there's a lot of crust and meteorite material, rock and sediment and dust under the ground. You dig 6 inches underground, you can see nothing but rocks and minerals. So that gets in the water. In fact, our tap water from the sink, we have to take that off every week and rinse it out because the mineral content will build up in the thing and slow the water down. So you got to take that off every week and rinse it out. So that's why they don't drink the water here. It's not because of bacteria or the water is bad like that. The mineral content is through the roof. You get kidney stones, gallstones, and all kinds of other problems with that. Now, I will say, when you first get here and you do drink the water, your stomach might be a little queasy for the first couple of weeks, probably. I think mine might have been a little queasy for like the first 3-4 days. And I don't, it could have been from the food. I think a combination of the food and the water. But after a couple of weeks after living here, it's not a problem. I've accidentally drank tap water straight from the sink.
Yeah, I have by accident
quite often and never gotten sick or anything like that. But if you do get sick, you can go to the doctor. The doctor is $3.50 to go see the doctor. Yeah. They'll give you some stuff to help your stomach, and there's some tablets that people take when they come here and visit. I forget the name of it, but it helps with your stomach.
Charcoal.
No, it's something else. Oh, okay. Something else, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. We eat street food off the street. I go into these hole-in-the-wall restaurants. Me and the kids, we go and eat. We don't get sick. I got sick one time in 4 years, and that's when I first got here. Ate some food I shouldn't have ate, but ate it anyway, and I was sick. But that's once in 4 years, so it's not an issue.
Okay, you want to go ahead and answer that one?
Since the deportation is going on in the U.S., are the Americans being treated differently? I haven't felt any different. People that I've spoken to have not shared any stories. Now, of course, when you go online and read comments online, you'll see comments from people here saying, oh, gringos go home, Americans go back home. But in terms of any animosity or any pushback or resistance from people in the streets and in public, nada. So I would say no. It hasn't been an issue here so far. Can you open a bank account without residency? Yes, you can. There's one bank in particular called Intercam where you can. Unfortunately, Intercam was just put on blast and lockdown by the U.S. government, saying that the bank was doing money laundering. So they got them on some kind of blacklist where you can't do business with this bank in terms of moving money from back and forth from the States or something to that effect. Don't quote me on this aspect of it about what can and can't do, but that was the primary bank that most Americans were going to open up bank accounts. But there is another option. If you have a Mexican address, there's a site here called Dollar App with one L. And I just put that in the comments. And you can, I use that myself, and I'm able to move money from my US bank account into that account and transfers and do all sorts of things with that. And it's been more than pleasant enough. Now that I am opening up a corporation, I am required to open up a bank account here for my corporation. But if you do have residency, it's going to be easier to get a bank account. You're going to have to get something that is called an RFC number, which is almost like the equivalent of a social security number. And so you go to the SAT office, you apply for that number, and the banks are generally now requiring that RFC number. The reason why that Intercam Bank was attractive and easy to open up a bank account is because they did not require an RFC number, but the overwhelming majority of banks here now will require that RFC number.
Have you answered this question?
Do you need an attorney for the temporary visa process or just need to follow the consulate instructions? You don't need an attorney. A lot of people do this on their own. I use an attorney. Other people tend to use facilitators or attorneys. For me, it was, I don't know enough Spanish. And I don't want to be standing in that immigration line 10 times, because if something is missing, they'll throw you out, and you got to come back another day, stand in that long, ridiculous line half the day, and blah, 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 blah. So for me, it was just convenience of not having to go back and forth and deal with the folks at immigration, because rules change, things change. And if you're off one piece of paperwork, you got to leave and come back a whole nother day. You do not get to come back in, jump to the front of the line or anything like that. No. So, but there are people that pay and get it done that way, and there are people who do it themselves. So if you can follow the directions and do everything that the instructions tell you to do, you should be fine. How long can you keep these homes that you forever? So because we are in the protected zone, so if you are within so many kilometers of the beach or live within so many kilometers of a border town between the border of Mexico and the U.S., or you have to buy property through a trust. And so those trusts are good for 50 years. And at the end of those 50 years, you can renew the trust another 50 years. And you can also make your children or whomever you want beneficiaries, and the trust continue to operate in their name. But it's forever. You own the place. It's your home. You don't have to give it back. You just have to renew the trust every 50 years, et cetera, et cetera.
Hold on 1 second. It's not well, it's a good question.
What's the best advice you can give to someone looking to move to Mexico or Merida? Yeah.
Advice, I would say, do your research, be open. For me, it was the first couple of years, I definitely had a hard time adjusting. Immerse yourself so that you can learn the language, because it doesn't matter how much you prepare before you move here, because when you move here and they get to speaking, and there's so many different accents and so many different dialects, and especially anyone that is a Yucatecan, they speak really fast. They be like blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but it's true. Haley and Charlie are just about fluent, and we went to the pharmacy one day, and this guy, he was speaking, and Charlie, she basically asked him, can you slow down, speak slowly, and repeat that? And so a lot of people from different parts of Mexico have that same complaint. I guess it's no different in the United States. If you're from the north and you're having a conversation with someone from like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, you're going to have those different dialects and slang, and it's, you know, it's just different. And so I say it's the same. The other thing I would also say is find your tribe. It will definitely make a huge difference in the transitioning of moving here. So if you can connect with like-minded people, that will make it a lot easier. Um, More so locals. If you can find your tribe that are locals, some people from the States moving here, that's great. But like my husband has already said before, a lot of times, like, you know, Americans come and they end up leaving. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And so for me, once I finally accepted, I wish we could talk about that question, because I know in that video people were saying it would have been better if Kim was on. But anyway, after I began to really see like this was the place that we were supposed to be, um, you know, I began to, you know, adjust and just open up and just be open-minded. So definitely being open-minded. I would say a lot of your thoughts and like, you know, like ideas as far as coming from the States and like how they do things here versus things back in the States are totally different. And so it does require like a lot of patience. And I know Cortez has already shared this story, but a lot of things that they do, it doesn't make sense. And again, a lot of Mexicans from like other parts of Mexico have the same complaint, which is so crazy. So, long story short, Charlie was going to a concert. She purchased the tickets online through Ticketmaster. Normally, if you purchase those tickets online, you don't have to go. But none, well, we had no idea that she had to go to a physical place. They had to stand in line, two lines, and the first line they got like a printout. Believe they stood in that line for about an hour, and then they had to stand in another line to get the physical ticket. So I'm like, what was the purpose of purchasing those tickets online? So anyway, it's those little nuances, you know, that you just really have to prepare for. You really do have to shift your mind, your thinking, and just be like, you know what, I'm in Mexico, and a lot of the things that they do, it don't make sense. And I guess if to sum it up, I mean, it is the South, and just like in the States, like with like people, you know, upstate from New York and New Jersey, they think that the people down south from Mississippi, Alabama, and no disrespect from those people from those places, because Cortez and I both are from Mississippi.
No, Kim from Mississippi.
He's from Mississippi as well. But anyway, they tend to think that, you know, people from Mississippi and the South is slow. And, you know, in retro aspect, it is the same way here. So you really do have to shift your thinking and be patient.
So again, what's the best? Hold on, I'm gonna click on that. What's the best advice you can give to someone looking to move to Mexico or Merida? My advice: come check it out. Come, get on a plane, stop delaying, stop procrastinating. Come see it for yourself to see if this place is for you. We've had people fantasize and romanticize Merida and Mexico for 2 or 3 years. And then when they finally hopped on the plane and got here, they're like, hell no, this ain't it. So they wasted 3 years of their lives romanticizing and fantasizing and having these ideas about what it was going to be like. And Merida and Mexico is not for everybody. You know what I mean? There are plenty of countries where you might thrive better, you know, and that's why it's important to go check it out. I think my daughter is blown away with Italy. Given that, you know, she's only been there for a couple of weeks, so she's in that honeymoon phase right now. That could change, but You got to go check these places out for yourself. Come check it out, and and have a plan. Understand why you coming here. Why are you moving here? You really need to have a strong why for why you're coming. Ours was financial. You know what I mean? And everybody's situation is not financial. And so you got to know why you're coming here. And like I say, come check it out. Back to that bank question. Someone asked, can you use Wise account? Yes, you can use Wise here. It's a card that you can apply for. Let me see if I can pull the site up online. You can it's wise.com, which I can throw my link in there. But it's a great way it's like a international debit card. You can use it to transfer money. Oftentimes when you have to pay your rent, you need a clave number to transfer money to your landlord. With a Wise card, you can transfer your money. You can pay in pesos. You can pay in US dollar. You can do whatever. So Wise works very well here, and a lot of people use it. You generally get some great exchange rates with that, and so definitely another option. I put the link in the comments below. And
someone said nobody's claiming Mississippi.
Huh?
So comment. I think it was Deborah S. said nobody's claiming Mississippi.
I put the invite link in the comment below. If you got questions and want to come up, feel free to come up and ask your question. And same thing, Adam, best advice is to visit first to see if it's the right fit for you.
Yeah.
And again, if Merida is not right for you, there are plenty of places in Mexico that you can go check out. Do not eliminate Mexico out of your list just because you don't like Merida.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of places here, and there are a lot of safe places in Mexico that you can go to as well. Like Marla says, best advice, make Mexican friends. You're plugged from that point. Absolutely. I think she had a great experience with some local folk that she's met. And folks will people here are very friendly. They will help you out left and right. My surgery that I recently had, many of the doctors were trying to get me for $6,000, $8,000 for the surgery. My friend Ruth was like, nah, I got somebody. And for $3,300 is what I ended up paying for the whole surgery. You know what I mean? It's about relationships. You start building friendships locally, you're going to, one, practice your language speaking skills. People want to look out for you. And like Control Chaos says, Mexicans are very friendly, and you will have friends left and right.
Absolutely. So are there any churches that have services in English? Yeah, many of the churches, the one that I go to, is English and Spanish, so they translate, so that's not an issue.
I thought you were here, Donna. I'm 51. Kim is 50.
Stop telling my age.
We have 5 whole kids. And I got there like we have 5 kids. We got 5. Our oldest is 26 and 25. And I be messing with Kim. I pointed out some gray hairs in her braids. She be getting mad. And
I gotta start dyeing my hair, guys. Yeah. How you
click on sharing with her comment.
Where is it? Right here. Okay.
Like Sharon says, consider a few scouting trips and see for yourself what areas appeal for you. Do you prefer mountains? Do you prefer the beach? Do you prefer the city? Just investigate. That is very excellent advice.
Very true.
Yeah, get on that plane and come check this out. Don't waste years over fantasizing this place without coming to check it out. You just got to get on the plane. DD. I will be there tomorrow to see if it's for me. Awesome. I'm glad to see you taking action and checking it out. Is the app DD safe to use? Safe, yes. The drivers here with DD, you generally going to have to pay cash. Sometimes the credit card function works, sometimes it don't.
Right.
You generally going to get faster pickups,
cheaper
and more options and cheaper fees with DD. But the drivers tend to like to be paid with cash. So if you're going to use DD, definitely have them cash on hand. Another app to consider is an app called InDrive. With InDrive app, you get to specify how much you want to pay. Because sometimes, depending on where you're at, you might want to offer a little bit more money so you can get picked up ASAP. You know what I mean? And but sometimes you can get lower rates if the driver accepts it as well.
And yes, there is an English library. Have you ever answered that question?
Is the English library in Methodist? Yes, it's still in operation.
Charlie just went a couple weeks ago.
It's still in operation. Bureaucracy is mind-boggling. Man, the bureaucracy here is ridiculous. Oh my God. We ordered some medicine from DHL. When they ran out of medicine here, we had to hook up with another pharmacy that was on the border on the Mexico side that had a relationship with a medical lab on the U.S. side from Monterey, on the U.S. side of the border. So they shipped her medicine the next day because we live far out. Well, we didn't live far out. We literally moved 15 minutes away. And the guy was like, oh, it's going to take 7 days to get the medicine delivered to your house versus normally got it the next day. But anyhow, so we determined that we'll just have it sent to a DHL shipping center and I can just go pick it up 10 minutes down the street. So the medicine gets here in Haley's name, Haley Ross. And so I go down there to go get her medicine. Then they tell me no. And I had a passport with me. I think this is my daughter. Here's my passport. You can see our name. This is my daughter. I get down there and they're like, no, Haley need to be here. So I go back home, get Haley, come back with her passport. And then they say, she's a minor. So we need you to bring her birth certificate. I'm like, what? I'm like, her birthday is on this thing, on this passport, her birthday, everything. And so they were like, nope, we need that birth certificate. So I go back home, get the birth certificate, and then come back to the center. And now they like, we need a copy of the birth certificate. I'm like, you damn jokers here, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they need a copy of the birth certificate. So I'm like, all right. So I go back home because I have a copy machine at the house. I print it out. And by the time we got ready to leave again, then I get a text on my phone talking about, hey, we put your box inside of one of the lockers. Use this code to open up the locker to get the box. So we go back. They all standing over there. And I'm like, really? Y'all made me jump through all these hoops. So y'all really didn't need the birth certificate. You really didn't need her to be present. Didn't need all this nonsense when I just reached in the locker and y'all ain't asked for nothing. And so now I know whenever I order something through DHL, just wait 2 or 3 hours. It's going to end up in the locker box. But it's that kind of nonsense that just drive you crazy. Literally, you know what I mean? How much can I make 1,000 a month last over there? So your biggest expense is going to be your house, your rent. So some people, they buy a house so they don't have that monthly expense. And so living on 1,000 is a lot easier if you don't have any rent. If you're needing to pay rent on that 1,000, the best option really, you're going to really have to find a place that's super, super affordable. I know some of these financial advisors suggest your rent or mortgage should not be over 20 or 25% of what you make. So that you're using that number, 25% on 1,000, your rent should not be over $250 a month. Can you find places out here for $250 a month? Absolutely. Are they run down and just dingy and dirty? Not all the time. There are some nice places. We got a lady living in a 1-bedroom studio, brand spanking new for $300 a month USD, and it includes water, trash, and internet services included. She just have to pay electricity. So, can you live on 1,000? You can, but it's going to require you to be very strict on your budgeting. Going out to restaurants on a regular basis, probably not going to happen. You're going to shop at the local markets, go to the local mercados and buy your food. Don't go to the supermarket. Go to the market and get your fresh fruits and vegetables on the low because it's way cheaper. You know what I mean? There's a lady, how much she was making? $1,500 a month. It was her Social Security with her pension. I think we found her place for $395. If I can't remember, all these numbers start running in my head. For the first time, that was a Social Security. She's like, man, after a year, I have money left over. I have money that I can go fly and go visit my grandkids. She could not do that, could not live on that in the state, didn't have money left. Had to make decisions on whether she's going to buy medicine or buy groceries. It was the choices she had living on that $1,500 a month. So, yes, it's very possible to live on 1,000 a month. But again, and I know a lot of people say, well, if all he has is 1,000 a month, he can't get residency. Again, a lot of folks, they might have a big lump sum. When you hear comments like this, they're not saying they don't have any money. They're just saying, can I live on that a month? They might have 80,000 in the bank and they can qualify for residency that way. You know what I mean? So people have different ways to qualify. So don't judge it based on what they're saying they have per month. They might qualify. They might have a grandparent or father or mother that might be Mexican citizenship. So don't pay attention to that entirely. Boo boo boo. Boo boo boo. Are there crazy zoning police? So if I come there, buy some land, can I put electricity on it and park my motorhome so I can build my place? Let me tell you, that's one of the beautiful things about Mexico. And I'm sorry for leaning down in my chair, y'all. I'm just relaxing. One of the beautiful things, let me get that branding up on the screen. Let me ask you a question. My Move Abroad and Thrive logo, I'm seeing it on my screen. It's showing backwards. Is it showing correctly on your side of the screen? I don't know if I need to mirror my screen or not. But one of the beautiful things about Mexico is they believe solely in this idea that a man's home is his castle. What happens on their property is their business and nobody's business. And thank y'all for letting me know it's showing correctly. Thank you. You can put some pigs on your property and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. Now, the rules are different if you decide to live in a gated community in a Pravada where they generally have these HOA rules and guidelines that you have to follow. So you'll know these things beforehand. And but if you go out there and buy you some land, you can put a fence around it, you can put a wall around it, you can put wire. A lot of these homes, even in the private gated communities, they have electrical fences on top of the walls wrapped around. So generally in Mexico, you could do whatever you want on your property. Had a lady here, American lady, the dogs across the street from her, there were a bunch of dogs living across the street, and the dog was just always barking, having a barking contest. She got angry at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, stormed out her door, ran across the street, screaming at the dogs, telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up. and woke the neighbors up. You know, you know what I mean? Neighbors come out and she going back and forth with them about they need to control their dog. And so the neighbors all came out and like, who the hell you think you are? If you don't like it, you can get the hell out of here and go back to your country. These dogs are on my property, and these dogs are on my property, and they ain't bothering nobody else. You the only one complaining. So it was odd that the dog was barking to the point it drove her crazy and made her come out and scream, but it wasn't disturbing the neighbors. It wasn't bothering them. But what bothered them was her coming out there screaming. So I think she called the police, or one of the neighbors called the police. The police came over there, and they was, more or less saying, "Hey, these dogs on this man's property. You the one being a nuisance and disturbing the peace." And so, short story is, long term, what ended up happening, she had it was suggested to her that she go to her neighbors and make amends and apologize. And she brought them some cookies and some cakes and tried to mend that. Because again, I mean, your neighbors are everything. They gonna look out for you when it's all said and done. And the last thing you want to do is go piss them off. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to piss them off because they gonna make life easier for you, or they can make it bad for you. You know what I'm saying? So so she worked that out. She ended up packing up and moving, ended up buying some land and building her own house out in the sticks so she could be away and not be disturbed, only to find out where she bought the land and built the house at, there was another farm across the way. So now she having to smell all this manure from the animals, because her property was right next to a animal farm. You know what I mean? But short answer is, you can do whatever you like on your property, and ain't nobody gonna say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? So hope that answered your question. And let me again, I'm gonna post this link in the comments. If you want to come up, it's your time to get your question answered. And anybody want to share their experiences about living here and some of your biggest aha moments about being here, just share what it's been like for you since arriving to Mexico. Oftentimes people say, I wish I would have done it sooner. Wish I would have done this thing sooner, and blah, blah, blah. So definitely come on out, and we'll come on up and ask a question. Do you have any meet and greet get-togethers for visitors or new arrivals? I haven't. I think I probably will start doing that next year. I'm an introvert. I've said this before. I'm an introvert, and I'm a loner. I know it's hard. It's hard for people to believe that I am a loner. I can be off in a room by myself as a recluse in a small, secluded town, an hour away from the big city, and be completely happy, and be locked away for 90 days straight and be happy. So I'm trying to come out of my shell a little more. So I think in the new year, I probably will start hosting more things like that in the future, mainly to help, particularly our clients. I need to do a better job in trying to connect people together. And I generally do that. So even though I don't do it in a public setting, I'll try and connect people together with other people I think they will mesh well with. And and so I try and do that.
Let me answer that question real quick.
Which one?
Can we need to have a women's retreat? Actually, that's in the plan. I've pretty much got everything kind of laid out. I just need to finalize everything. So that is the plan, to have a retreat. So it's coming. So yeah.
So how can I meet you guys while I'm there? And I hate to make this about business per se. I just posted a link in the comments. You know, we do offer tours. Oftentimes people will ask, can you take us around the city, show us around, show us some homes, show us what rentals look like. And we have these tours. I just posted a link in the comment. That is one of the ways to meet up with us. It's work. We do a lot of work. So I'm tied up most of the time doing these tours and helping people find homes. And so generally that's the best way is to book a tour, or if you decide you want to book a consultation, if you do at least a 1 hour telephone consultation, and you can get that on the site as well, moveabroadandthrive.com. If you are in town, if you're in town, I can generally do the consultation face to face. It's just that my time is very limited. We're tied up a lot, dealing with other clients and whatnot, and it's just hard to get away. And when there is time, I'm generally crashing out, resting because, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna share this with you. Because a lot of folks have been asking about Tia Nikki and where she's at, and why haven't they seen her online? And it ties into this question. It's a lot of work, taking people around, showing them things, showing them places. It wears you down, and it's not because people are bad or anything like that. A lot of people that are moving here are leaving from the States, various reasons, trauma. They're getting away from a variety of things, and and for many people that are moving here, it's a very stressful time because, like, again, a lot of folks dealing with financial issues and they're stressed and they're overwhelmed. Other folks, medical reasons, and they're stressed and scared and overwhelmed. And so what happens is when we connect with these people, get in the car, start driving around, they start dumping all of this stuff on you. So when you're riding around and traveling with people for 4 hours or 8 hours a day, it just drains you. And it wears you down. And so after, hanging out with folk for days, you need a break. And so what happened, Tia Nikki, and I'm gonna interview her. We talked the other day. She just more or less, man, this just broke her down. She lost it. And to the point where she doesn't want to talk to any more Americans. She don't want to have any affiliation with them. She don't want to see them. She is done. She has pretty much shut down her business. She's so stressed out and frustrated. She decided she's moving from Merida. I'm not going to say where she's going because I don't want people to be trying to follow suit. But she's staying in Mexico, but people have worn her out, and I'm grateful. I'm a very patient person. God has blessed me with I call it a gift of patience, and I can tolerate almost anything, and deal with almost anything, and it's a gift. It's a gifting. So I've been doing this now for 4 years, helping people make this transition for 3 years out of the 4 that we've been here. And she had to let this thing go. She's like, I don't ever want to see another American. I don't ever want to talk to him ever again. That's how much, and I understand why she feels that way, because man, when folk get in that, when I pick folks up, as soon as they open that door, and I'm like, but I keep a smile on my face because I'm patient. I understand what people are dealing with. I understand the stress. People snap at you, and it's not that they're snapping at you because they're mean or hateful. Sometimes they just overwhelmed and frustrated with the stress. I've been in restaurants with people where they just snap and just go off at the waiter. I've seen them cuss out the waiter. I've seen them, why don't you speak English? I speak in English. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get me
Crazy.
cussing up in here. I'm like, motherfucker, you in Mexico? What do you mean? How you demanding they speak Spanish? Speak English? And so I'm gonna get me to cussing. And so, and when you're around that kind of energy, it can wear you down. And again, I understand why people do, and I accept them for that as long as they're just not overtly rude. Um, you know, but it wears you down. It's draining. And that's one of the reasons why, people oftentimes say, why do you charge so much? Because man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Again, y'all are coming from a place and you're making this transition and you're gonna deal with stress. You're gonna be frustrated, you're gonna pop off at the mouth. I just don't take it personal. I recognize it for what it is. And I can tolerate it, I can deal with it. But when it's time to take a break, I gotta take a break. And so, so I charge, but she's done. She is done. And I'm gonna bring her on and let her share her transition. And it wears you down. So that's why I say I try and keep it work related. And the free time that I do get, I enjoy it, hanging out with my family members.
Someone wants to know if I rent a super nice place, can I put it on Airbnb to cover my own cost?
If I rent a super nice place, can put it on Airbnb. Generally, they don't allow subleasing here. It's very difficult to find landlords that will allow you to sublease. But it's possible because I do have a couple of places that I do sublease, but it took a long time to find them, find these properties, find a landlord to say yes. Also, the other challenge that you run into is when you live in these gated communities and providers, many of them do not allow Airbnb for short-term rentals. They generally require, if you do Airbnb, it have to be at least a 1-year lease. So something to be mindful of. So which is one of the benefits of living outside of a provider or a gated community. So you can have the flexibility to do what you want. What are a few laws to be aware of for everyday life? One, don't open up nobody's gate.
Oh yeah.
And walk through that gate without permission. I was in jail for 2.5 days. I walked through somebody's gate. They considered trespassing here. Remember what I said earlier, that a man's property is his castle, and they believe that to the T. Even to the point now, I can order something like that man who came to our door to come set up this equipment for Haley's sleep apnea. They will yell from the curb.
Yeah, they will. They won't come in and they won't walk up to the door.
And there ain't no gate here.
Yeah, they still yell.
They'll yell from the curb. They bring in my water to the house. They will yell from the curb. They'll pull up the truck on the side of the road and yell from the curb for me to open the door. So when I went busting through somebody's gate, because I went to the wrong house, went through somebody's gate, I was locked up for 2.5 days. So y'all can find the video to get the whole story on that. I don't want to get into detail on that here. It'll be too long. But that's one. Any other crazy rules and law? Generally in the store, if you drop something, you paying for it.
Oh, yeah. And also too, I know Curtis has probably already shared this. So when he went out to a restaurant, he and Robert, and the waiter actually spilled his drink. They still tried to make him pay for it. So yeah.
So it's little things like that. You drop something, you break it, you pay, you buy it. Even if it was an accident, they don't have insurances like they do in the States. In the store, just eat up the cost. You go in the store, you knock down a whole row of pickle juice, pickle jars. You buy all them pickle jars before you leave that store, or you going to jail. Any other crazy rules and laws? Them the only ones I can think of off the top of
The
my
gate,
head.
and yeah, you paying for you break it, you buy it, especially in the restaurant if it's not your fault. Also too, there's no, I mean, in some places it just depends on where you like eat at. So let's just say you like order food and you decide that you don't like it because of the taste. Normally in the States they will take it off your bill, but they don't. And I remember when I first got here, Cortez and I, we went out with someone else, and they end up sending, they end up bringing me the wrong plate. It was something I did not want, and the girl was steady trying to make me take it. And I'm like, no, this is not what I ordered. This is not what I want. And she was very persistent, but I was just as persistent. Like, look, I don't want this. You need to take it off my bill because this is not what I ordered. And so they were basically trying to make me pay for it, and she got the order wrong. So it's just little things like that.
So a lot of people do border hop. It depends. Some borders are more lenient than others. Like some people say, if you come in through the Belize border, they might only give you 5 days or 7 days or 2 weeks.
Or they won't stamp your passport.
So depending on where you're coming in from, but people do that. They still do that. It's not necessarily 6 months a year. I mean, literally, you can leave and come back. My daughter did it. We left for 11 days and we came back, and they gave her 6 months. I gave her another 6 months right back to back. So it's not like Colombia where they might give you 3 months per calendar year or something like that. But again, it's always at the agent's discretion. But quite honestly, and again, it might be a little more different now because of the political climate that we're dealing with now. So be mindful of that. But I would lean on. I would go on a limb and say, hopping and getting 6 months probably won't be much of an issue. Leave, come back, leave for a few days, 3, 4, 5 days, and come back, and likely get another 6 months. If they only stamp you for 3 months, leave after those 3 months and come back, you're likely to get 6 months. I hear you're more likely to get 6 months when you fly back in versus going over, walking or driving over a border.
I'm laughing at Marla's comment. Remember the day when she and what's the face? I forget her name, came and they pulled up to the house.
Yeah, I remember that. I ain't know. She said she had been trying to call me because half the time I don't be answering my phone. I don't see my phone. I pulled up the unc's house and was blowing my horn. I definitely was going to that door. He and Auntie came out, and I was laughing while reminding him about his trespassing experience. I kept like, man, who the hell keep honking their horn? Because see, I still get nervous when people be coming at my door. I'll run upstairs and look out the window, see who's that knocking at my door. And so she kept honking and honking. I was like, did y'all order something? I'm calling the kids, asking if they ordered some food or something. They're like, no. I'm like, man, who keep honking at my damn door in my house? And so I finally look out the window and then realized it was Marla. And I was like, this joker here. I'm like, man, you need to call me and warn me when you coming because. And she's like, I've been trying to call your phone. I don't be seeing my phone. But yeah, man, so yeah, be mindful, be careful when you go in the folk house. Cause it's different out here.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Are y'all gonna do a follow-up with the people you helped to relocate that have been there a couple of years? It would be interesting to see how they're doing. Yes. Going to start doing that. Honestly, as I mentioned before, I just been slammed. I've been trying to operate this like a one-man operation, which is now finally this corporation will be set up this week. I'm talking to 2 people. I'm hiring 2 local Mexican folks here. They're gonna be working for us full time. So it's gonna free me up from a lot of stuff. It's gonna allow me to do more things. They're gonna be the ones reaching out to our previous clients that are still here, setting up these interviews. I'll interview them. They may interview them as well for me. So I am so excited that we're hiring locals and really turning this from a one-man show into a real company per se. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to take us to the next level, and having local folk that work for us. They're going to share content with you all as well from a local perspective. So now we're going to have, feedback from locals and giving advice and tips and ideas and stuff like that. So short answer, yes, we will be doing that soon. Getting these interviews in as well.
Kim, do you have any outreach or missions in Merida? Yes. So outreach with the other ministry that I'm connected with, our outreach days are Fridays and sometimes Saturdays. And I am also starting my own. I've got this group. And once I get them disciple and where they need to be, then I start taking them out as well. But yes, there's definitely outreach and missions here to do. So yes.
Absolutely. Let's see here. And also we will be doing, someone asked earlier if we'll be doing group tours. Actually also that was also on my agenda for the first part of this year. Again, got so busy, but we will start doing group tours as well, where again, similar to the workshop, we'll rent a big house, perhaps 5 rooms or 6 or 7 rooms. Each person will get their room in groups of 5, come stay for 3 to 5 days. We'll take you all around the city looking at real estate in the various parts of town, looking at real estate on the beach part of town, have lawyers come by, bankers come by, share information with you all about the process of getting residency, buying a house, setting up trust and stuff like that. So that's something that we're also going to be doing. Again, which is one of the reasons why I'm excited to finally have a team where we can actually start putting this stuff in motion and having more consistent processes and procedures as we move forward.
Kim, did you end up having to pay for the food that was wrong? No, because I was very persistent and I put my foot down. So no, I did not pay for it, but they definitely tried to make me pay for it.
Yes, our 2 new employees are bilingual, speaking both Spanish and English. I think one actually speaks French as well. So yeah, but both bilingual, which should definitely help me out with my Spanish, as I'm needing to learn it to take an exam in the new year. So yeah. What about tipping?
We usually take tip 15%.
The standard here from the locals is generally 10%. But if the service is excellent and over the top great, then 15% is generally warranted. And also one of the things that when you go to the grocery store and people are bagging your groceries, the baggers, they don't get paid from the store, they get paid from tips. So always try and slip tips to the baggers that are bagging your groceries. 10, 15 pesos. If you have a whole lot of stuff, 20 pesos, which is about $1. But 10 to 15 pesos just for a few items on the thing. Also, when you go to the gas station, you can't pump your gas. The gas attendants will pump your gas. You generally tip them as well. Again, 10, 15, 20 pesos. And sometimes when you're in the parking lot and you backing out, there'll be some random guy that show up with a flag backing you out and helping you get out in the parking lot and directing you into traffic. You tip him if you want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's a tipping culture in many of the places. Damn, Cartez got a whole operation in Merida. Yeah, I mean, it's been long overdue. Let me explain why. I have severe ADD, and that's another thing now, and that's another reason why I get wore out so quick because I'm trying to do 30 million things at the same time. I want to, in order to continue to help people make this transition and to share about this type of opportunity to live abroad, you know, we have to systematize and position ourselves for scaling. And, you know, I want this to continue on past me. You know what I mean? I want this to continue to grow and go to get the word out for other people. And so I had many of the things I have to get out of the way because I'm the one that I'm the bottleneck. I'm slowing the progress because I'm trying to do it all. And sometimes, you know, again, just gotta get out the way. You know how it is when you're working for the man, and then the boss come to the office and everything gets all messed up because he shows up. You know what I mean? He's delaying things, messing things up, and things don't get back to normal until he leaves. And so I'm that guy for myself, and so I got to kind of get out of the way.
Let me ask this question. She said, Kim, that's what I'm interested in doing, outreach. I will stay in touch. Are you here in Merida? If so, reach out. I'm sure there's a way. How can she contact? Just reach out to Cortez and send him your phone number, and I'll reach out to you.
Support at Move Abroad. I'm sorry, help at moveabroadandthrive.com. I put the email address in the comment. Move Abroad and Thrive.
And that's for Deborah S. S as in Sam. And anyone else is interested in outreach, you guys can email, leave your name and number, and I'll reach out to you.
Man, y'all telling me nobody want to come up on this platform and talk, share y'all experiences. I just put the link in the comment. Come on down here, get on this thing, and let's chit chat.
Do you all prefer Medellin or Mexico? There are a lot of things I do like about Medellin. It's a lot nicer, but here in Mexico, it is a lot safer. So even though I like Medellin, it's the safety factor for me, especially with, you know, allowing the girls to take Uber. I wouldn't allow that in Medellin. There's just too much going on. So as a safety factor for the girls and allowing them to have normal lives as they would in the States, Mexico would be my choice. Thanks, Control.
All right. So I think we've answered most questions. I think we're getting to that point where we're about to wrap this up. So if you got a few questions left, jump in there, put it in the comments.
So we're gonna give it like another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be shutting it down for the night. But we'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, you can click the link and come up. Yeah.
And if you found this conversation helpful, you know, hey, consider a donation. My Cash App is in the comments area as well. If you want to do a Zelle donation, I'm gonna drop my email address in the comments below as well. And hey, we enjoy sharing this information. We enjoy getting the information out. We enjoy working with folks, man, because this has been a game changer for our lives, our finances, and our children are bilingual. We're thriving. That's why we came here, to thrive and to kind of reset and get back on our feet. And it's paying off. The hard work is done and it's finally paying off. Thank you, Adam, for your donation. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's paying off, and it's been a great move for us, and best decision ever. Best decision ever. Bobby and Lena, I want to make it to Merida so badly. I need a small 1-bedroom, nothing fancy, just me at 56 finding my way up out of the U.S. As I mentioned, there's a lady, 60 years old, retired, moved into a 1-bedroom apartment for $300 a month. I'm gonna see if I can find that. I want you to see this. Am I able to pull stuff up on this platform? Let me see if I can find her. Y'all bear with me a second. This is $300 a month included. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, y'all bear with me. I'm gonna show this to you. Present.
Oh yeah, you can record the screen, share the screen.
Slide video, share screen.
Just click on the share.
Sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. Y'all bear with me. I haven't done this before.
You gotta hit that share screen.
I'm loading it up on the other side, darling.
Okay.
Share screen. There we go. Can y'all see this video here with me with the red shirt on? Can y'all see that? Just confirm that you can see that. Can y'all see that? I'm about to hit the play button. I don't know if y'all be able to hear. Okay. Coming down from the United States, seeking an apartment in the $200 to $300 a month range. Now, folks said it was impossible, Merida's expensive, and you can't. That she chose for $300 a month, and that included everything except the electricity. So that's this video. This is 6,000 pesos. That's about $300 US a month. We are here in Merida on the eastern side of the city. Everything is included: water, internet, trash services, pickup, all of it. And it's more like a studio apartment. So if it's just 1 or 2 of you, hey, there's plenty of space in here. You got a cabinet, a closet, storage closet to put your stuff. You got a bathroom, brand spanking new. Nobody's been in here yet. Very, very nice. And here's a window out here. I'm gonna show you the other side from a different angle in a moment. You got all your stores, supermarkets, shopping, mom and pops, restaurants galore. And check it out. We've been looking at a lot of space. I think she's probably gonna like this and probably gonna go with this place. TV included. I mean, look at that. Another window. I'm not gonna open it up. Well, might as well. Look at that. Microwave, stove top here. Bus line. Buses pass right by. Park right outside. All right. So, what did you? All right. So, what do y'all think about that? That was $300 a month. You saw the bus ride by. The bus drive by every 10 minutes. The bus here runs about 40 cents. 40 cents for the bus. And then the second bus ride is 20 cents. And then the third ride is free. And then it resets. You know what I mean? The lady who lived in that place is 62 years old, retired on a fixed income. And, you know, again, the area might look a little rough around the edges, but that was a brand new home that sat on top of a store. And she says, Cortez, I walk to the markets every day. I go to the butcher. I get all my meats. All the neighbors know me. Everybody, she's like, I walk that street at night. I feel completely safe. I don't ever feel threatened. I don't feel at loss or anything. $300 a month. That includes the internet. And it was furnished, had a 50-inch TV on the wall, and it had the furniture, had pots and pans in there, brand new. She was the first person to live in there. And the internet, water, and trash is included in the 300. Also, I think she said her first electric bill was like $50. And that's every 2 months. You know what I mean? So, so when Bobby says, hey, I want to make it to Merida, I need a one small bedroom, that was actually fancy. You know what I mean? 300. So she said the lady living there, she like, I'm trying to build my money on this fixed income. I need to stack it. And you can stack it when you're renting $300 a month. And how do you make it on $1,500 or less if $3,000 to $4,000 is required? Again, now, and I mentioned this earlier, like I say, a lot of people who have the money, who might only have $1,500 a month, they might have had some decent savings and they were able to qualify for residency that way. My advice would be to consult with an immigration attorney because there are other options. There are ways to make it work. Hey, you might have to come down here and get married to a local. You know what I'm saying? I mean, folk making it work. You know what I mean? Go back in your history, see if anybody, if your granddad is a Mexican citizen. I mean, you just got to make it work. My advice, and so I'm gonna tell you, listen. When we got here, we didn't qualify financially for residency. I told you my income was jacked. Our finances were going down and down and down. I just showed up trusting and hoping there will be a way that our door will open. And so after we got here, that's when I learned about that special R&E program, the regularization program, where we were able to qualify without going into detail about how it worked because the program is no longer applicable now. We were able to qualify. We were able to get residency 18 months later, 2 years later. Again, we just had it. Thank you, Sharon, for your donation. We appreciate you. I just believe once I got here, I'll figure it out. And so even though the regularization program is over now, it's speculated that once all this nonsense with the politicians and stuff go away or the administration is changed, is hope that they will reestablish the program again. And people who didn't qualify financially might be able to meet these other options and qualifications to qualify. I'm not saying that it will work and that it would do. When we came, I just trusted that, hey, we'll figure it out. We'll find a way. And that's what we did. That's why I say talk with an attorney, find out what all your options are. You might be able to come here and get a student visa and go to school. You might be able to come down here,
maybe a work visa with a company, what type of skill set or something that you may have that a Mexican company may want to hire you. So I think there are different ways.
Yeah. So you just got to do
creative.
It. What made my decision final with the apartment you found for a client directly located on the beach for less than $400 a month? Amen. I'm telling you, there is a way. There is a way. You just gotta work it out. You gotta try, be willing to step out on faith and trust that things will work out. The person said, I can almost prepay a whole year for what it costs here in the States. Absolutely. Imagine the amount of stress that's off your back. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a tip. I'm gonna recommend, because not everybody do this. If you just say, And Kim would be one of them people who wouldn't do this.
What?
I'll be fighting her. To do this.
What?
I'll be like, look, let's go stay in this spot for $350 a month or $400 a month, and like you said, 1 month rent might cover 8 months of the doggone rent here. If folks come here with this mindset of, man, let me just make it for a year, let me survive on the minimums, and just say, hey, I'll take a place for $350 a month and just ride it out. The year is going to go by so fast, and it's going to allow you to build your money and get your bearings straight. You know what I mean? The area she live in is not unsafe. All the most of it is safe. If you could sacrifice and just be like, swallow your pride and be like, and I've seen that with others. 1 year later, they are in better shape. They better off financially, mentally. A couple of things that happened with those folks who went into these local neighborhoods and live like the locals. A year later, they come out, they Spanish on point. Because now they've been immersed in the area and they had to learn them words. You know what I mean? They had to learn that Spanish. So you can come out more mentally strong. You can come out better understanding the language. You will have a better understanding of the culture a year later. You will be better off. There are a lot of folks who've been here for 5 years and still don't speak the language, no better off than they were 5 years earlier. So I would say come in, find a place, the cheapest place you can find and tolerate, and you're gonna be better for it. But most folk don't do that, and ourselves included when we first got here. I would have done it, but I would have had all kind of resistance from her. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. I need people. Exactly. Definitely can do that. So hey, I think we're gonna wrap this up. If you have not joined our VIP group, I'm gonna put a link down below. Get in on this thing, man. Y'all can post questions in there, ask questions, and get feedback from me all day, every day. I generally respond within 48 to 72 hours is all I ask, to get back to you with your questions. I'm going to be interviewing my daughter soon, the one that's in Italy, where she can go in detail and explain to you all how the program works. Hopefully I can catch her because they're 8 hours ahead. Hopefully I can catch her and perhaps she can show us some live videos while she's out there in Italy, showing us some of the sights and stuff like that. But she's out there living her best life, having a great time, doing the thing. And I'm already on her right now. That girl, make some content. I'm going to show you, hey, do this, do that. I'm going to show you how you can make some money traveling, blah, 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 blah. So you can continue to do this so I can get her out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And, so, hey, it's been fun hanging out with y'all. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate your support. And any final words?
No, not really.
So once again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Get your butts on a plane and come check this place out for yourself. See what's happening. Thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day.